What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, I'm going to put the Papa Bear title to the side just for one video because I'm feeling a little bullish. I mean, obviously, I've been feeling bullish about quite a few things, but there's the way that things are shaping up. It seems like Q2 could, at the very least, be intriguing or interesting for this year, right? For 2023. Now, I have the roadmap pulled up, and the thing is, there's some things that are not included on here, things that we've recently heard of, such as Land Phase 1.5. But I thought that I would just kind of take a look at where we're at, what we can expect, and why I think Q2 could be interesting. Okay, so we'll dive into the roadmap in a second, but I kind of want to paint a picture here for those who either may not remember or were not around during the end of the Untamed era. Now, I joined the game in August of 2021, and I believe Untamed sold out quite surprisingly, right? Surprisingly, in July of 2021. Now, there's already a key difference. We know that the sellout of Chaos Legion is coming. The market is overflooded with cards for Chaos Legion. So, sure, I'm making a parallel here, but I also want to recognize the differences. But in those couple of months afterwards, we saw probably some of the biggest hype and FOMO to, in terms of like levels within the game. Obviously, the SPS airdrop was going on at the time. DEC was well above its peg. People were printing money in the lower leagues in bronze, and botting became an absolute nightmare. But it was definitely a golden time to be checking out the game and to come in, just because it was, the opportunity was endless. Now, did we all know that it was going to end at that point, or after a couple months? People probably should have figured it out, right? But ultimately, the party could have kept going had the market, right, the broader market, not just crypto, but the broader markets as well, continued pumping. But obviously, the Federal Reserve here in the U.S. decided to start raising interest rates, and everything just started tanking. And obviously, once all that liquidity started getting pulled out of the market, especially the crypto market, we started to see Terra Luna fall. We saw Celsius fall. We saw a bunch of, ultimately it went to like FTX, and it may not be over yet, right? So, but going back to that time, that awesome time of the second half of 2021, or maybe we'll even just look at like specifically Q3 of 2021, I wonder what parallels we'll be able to draw between then and what we have coming up for Q2 of 2023, roughly 18 months later. So again, I recognize that there's going to be a massive difference. We're not in a macro bull run right now. The player base has dramatically fallen, and there's a lot of cards out in the market. And we all know what the problems are. Right? I don't need to rehash all of it. But there are some interesting things, and if we kind of just walk through what will be happening over the next couple of weeks to end Q1, right? Because we're only about halfway through Q1 right now, and then getting into Q2, I think it could make for a really fun time as we enter into the summer, or by the end of June, which would be the end of Q2, right? Now, Rebellion, I think, is going to be way later this year. I don't think it's going to be like July. I think September is what Aggie mentioned last, and I wouldn't be surprised if it even gets pushed out beyond that. But here's where I'm kind of seeing things, right? We have some cool things in the works right now, or in place right now. Season rentals were mentioned, and it seems as though that might be around the corner. So as long as that is done before the end of season, or the end of Q1, I think we're going to be in a good spot, because that'll be something that'll make it easier for new players who are onboarded to go through and rent for the entire season, or even players like myself will want to make avail of those tools once they are available. We obviously got the DEC-B, or the DEC batteries, although we've only sold through about 1/4 of them. I think only like 500 million so far. But right now, the land starter package is passing, right? We had the land potions fail, which is probably for the best, right? Because I think we got a better deal out of it, or a better proposal out of it, which ultimately isn't going to burn 1.5 potentially, right? 1.5 billion DEC, but could potentially burn 4.5, 3 times the amount, because there's several different things that you can pick and choose from. It's kind of like an a la carte menu for your land plots. So we are in a state now where that could start to eat up a significant amount of DEC if that gets passed, and if we get that implemented at or around the time whenever Land Phase 1 goes live. Now, Land Phase 1, we're still kind of hoping that that's going to get done by the end of Q1. I mean, Aggie's been saying that, or Aggie and both Aggie and Matt have been saying that, that's going to be in by the end of Q1. And obviously, Q1 is the end of March. So there's still like 6 weeks until that time. And I'm sure we're going to start getting some of that out very, very soon. So we're gonna have Land Phase 1. People are gonna start buying into this, starting to use DEC, and once we get into Q2, we will potentially get not only Land Phase 1.5, but all of these other things that were already predetermined to be on the roadmap, right? So SPS delegation, again, I don't know what this is going to do in terms of or SPS delegation rental markets, right? So hopefully we get SPS delegation by the end of Q1. But SPS delegation rental markets means that if they do that, replacing CP requirements with SPS staking, that could be an added utility for SPS, which could make things considerably, lock down considerably more SPS, especially for all the bots, all the botted accounts that are out there, or alternate accounts that are out there. Now, we'll have to watch and see how that goes, and I don't know what the numbers are going to look like initially, whether it's going to be like, 1,000 per bronze, or like 100,000 for 100,000 SPS for champion. We don't really know what that looks like yet, but I do think that it is going to make a difference, and as people will want to bring in more, or if they have more SPS, there's going to be a whole new market that builds up with that SPS delegation and rental. I like the card bundles. That stuff is coming too. And then we have guild alliances. Now, guild alliances to me are exciting because they represent a chance for another unknown DEC sync, voucher sync. Potentially even, I don't think it'd be a card sync, but there could be a Rooney sync there, right? I think that's what the plan is, to have Rooney be used in some ways for guild alliances. But there's another area in which we don't know what kind of DEC or voucher sync it could be. But it's happening. I believe the last time we've heard, Cryptomancer is now on it, so it's in good hands. And as I said, we're only halfway through Q1, so I don't expect this to be there April 1st, the first day of Q2. But I would hope that by the time, by the end of April, not by the end of April, maybe by the end of May or early June, we would get something for guild alliances. So we have all these cool things coming within the next 3 to 4 months. Now, we talk about the stuff that is not, or at least the main thing that is not on this roadmap, which is the Land Phase 1.5. Again, we've heard just bits and pieces, and it sounds like there's going to be some kind of Land 1.5 white paper that comes out very soon. But from what we've heard, it sounds like there will be monster staking, right? So you will be able to put your monsters to work on your land. That's going to require some DEC as well. And I think the most important part is the fact that people are getting SPS for free right now just for holding land. But now you're going to have to work your land, and we won't have to wait until fully functional land to start earning that SPS, making people work to earn that SPS. And I think it'll be cool for the team to start implementing, the whole like resources and secret, different resources, and the Secret of Pretoria game that they have planned to be ongoing for the next couple of years, most likely. So again, if we can get that by the end of Q2, or even sometime in Q2, like all of that could make things very interesting. Now, I haven't even mentioned stuff that is kind of happening on the periphery of Splinterlands. Now, the first was not really on the periphery; it's actually within the same ecosystem, and that is tower defense. And we've seen a lot of gameplay. It sounds like we're going to get a beta very soon, and I think following the beta, there might be a release or launch. I don't know if that's going to be in Q1. If it ends up being in Q2, it doesn't really matter if it's Q1 or early Q2. But I don't think it's going to get stretched out to Q3. Is my point. So why am I excited about that? Well, that could represent yet another DEC sync, right? Another DEC sync for whatever kind of leaderboards they have on there, for the items and stuff that you want to do. I know that what they're planning is probably going to be something different from what Hardpoint was saying on previous town halls, where there's going to be a lot of soulbound things that you can go in and like a rotating store and all that. So again, it's exciting to hear what they have planned. It could potentially bring in a new audience, but even if it doesn't, I mean, there's players like me who, not that not that I don't like the game, Splinterlands card game, but I'm, you can woo me with something fresh and shiny, and I'll go check it out and start spending money there because I want to play and be good at something like tower defense. It's a game it's a game genre that I actually really enjoy. So not only that, not only the DEC sinks, but it could be another area in which you could start staking your cards. Will that be available right off the get-go? Maybe not, but it's something that could happen very soon, right? Because we know that is definitely on the roadmap for having some kind of benefits for using monsters and staking cards there. So again, we're having all of these things start to lock down assets or use up assets in a time where, I think assets will start to feel more scarce. Now, what's also the big elephant in the room here? Chaos Legion will be done, right? So, and I know people think that there's still a lot of cards, there's still whatever. Yeah, you might be right, but the scarcity will be felt, I believe, in my opinion, right? The scarcity will be felt. A lot of cards are going to start to find new homes, whether that's on land, whether that's in tower defense, whether that's in decks, right? As people start to slowly level up. Like, for example, however long it takes me, I would love to continue maxing out my Chaos Legion deck. I know that it's not a priority for me anymore, but if I see good deals on cards, I'll continue to grab them and I'll slowly continue to dollar cost average. So that demand will always be there for players like myself with mainly gold decks. And I'm sure it's the same for people who are in silver, right? They can't afford to drop $500 or $1,000 to get from silver to gold right now, but give it time and they'll slowly start to get there. So again, is 4 months enough for that to really be felt? Probably not. But there's going to be a lot of other things happening. And then obviously the other kind of periphery thing is Genesis League Goals, which we know now is most likely going to release at least by early June. Now, the thing with Genesis League is that it is a big X factor. And I don't want to give it more importance or more weight than it deserves because I don't want to create any kind of hyper FOMO. But at this point, right, like there's so much that could happen with it that just the GLX token going up in value a lot, right? Just that could drive people to Splinterlands just because the returns on SPS would be so crazy. So what am I trying to get at here, right? So when GLX was at, I think the last time I checked, when GLX was like 3 or 3.5 cents, the APR, right, for staking SPS just for the GLX airdrop was roughly 25%. Well, what happens if GLX jumps from 3 cents to 30 cents because we have the upcoming sale for the nodes, the game gets started, people are burning GLX to start playing the game, right? Like that all could happen. And I'm not saying that, 30 cents is going to happen. I'm just saying that it could happen. And if it does, like I actually don't think 30 cents is out of the realm of possibility. I'm not saying that it will happen right away, but but my point is that if that does happen, well, then all of a sudden you 10x that APR, and essentially you're getting a 250% APR for staking SPS just on the GLX airdrop. Don't tell me that people, if SPS is still at 3 cents or whatever at that point in time, are not going to start buying a little bit more SPS just because the returns on the GLX airdrop are that freaking good, right? So I don't know. To me, the way that all of this stuff is shaping out could make for a very interesting Q2. Now, where that goes beyond Q2 into Q3, I have no idea. That's too far out to speculate. I would love to say that the party would continue, or maybe Q2 is just a ramp up to a madness that we maybe reach in Q3. But, I don't think this party is going to last forever. In fact, I think everything is going to be cyclical, right? So Rebellion will come out at some point, and then once everybody gets their fill of Rebellion, similar to Chaos Legion, we probably will hit the same kind of lull period that we did for Chaos Legion, right? Will it be as long and sustained and as deep as Chaos Legion was? I have no idea. But and I think that the way that the team is going to design the pack tokenomics probably will not allow for that. But ultimately, that's too far out for me to speculate. I'm just looking over the next 4.5 months between now and the end of June or the end of Q2. And to me, there's just a lot of things that look super good. Now, you know me, I'm a macro guy. So at the end of the day, I think a lot of this stuff can and will be dictated still by where the macro market is. And we just saw inflation numbers come in a little bit higher. There could be a little bit more, pressure to raise interest rates. I don't know what's going to go on with that, but that is definitely something, if you're not paying attention to it, I'm not saying that you have to become a macro expert or a macro analyst, but it's just something to keep in mind, right? At the end of the day, Splinterlands still exists within the within the crypto sphere, more so than the gaming sphere, in my opinion. And so, just being aware of what the market trends are, I think is really important. So again, I'm not a financial analyst. This is not financial advice. I'm just excited about all of the cool things that will be happening over the next 4.5 months, end of Q1 and then into Q2. And I genuinely believe that we will start to feel a lot of the scarcity on different things. Whether that means a bunch of new players coming in or not, I couldn't tell you, right? But there's enough avenues for new players to come in, and I think a lot of tools that make it easier for new players to come in. The nifty project that's happening right now, SPS delegation. Sorry, not SPS delegation, but like card rentals, season rentals. I think I just dropped the video last night on Peak Monsters with the My Deck thing, right? So a lot of these tools are built out, and I think the community as a whole and the project as a whole, Splinterlands, right, is just in a much more mature place where we could start to get people. Now, it's not going to be crazy, and I don't think there's going to be stupid money coming in the way there was stupid money coming in or being thrown around during a bull run, but it could still be significant to the point where, we might start to actually get people who are coming in to play the game. And even if they're investors, they're the people who are savvy and who understand projects and are looking for good projects in a bear market. So again, I don't think that the party's going to go on forever. I don't think that we're personally, and I'll tell you this is not financial advice. This is just me guessing and speculating, not even on the game, but I don't think that we're out of the bear market yet. I think there is a potential, because obviously Bitcoin has shown a little bit of resilience here, for there to be a significant bear market rally, right? Bitcoin's not going to hit any new all-time highs, but I'll tell you this, if Bitcoin hits 30K, 35K, maybe even 40K or 50K by some point this year, Q2, maybe even Q3, that could make things absolutely berserk for everybody, all the alts in the crypto market that have just been starved of, through this crushing 2022 bear market. So, that could provide some breathing room for a lot of projects to start to thrive, to get a lot of interest. And then, personally, like I said, I think the floor will fall out maybe by the end of the year, and we'll go into a little bit more of a lull period. Bitcoin halving happens middle of next year or so, and then we start the bull run from there. But that's just my personal timeline. I have no idea, right? I have no idea what's going to happen, but I do think there is some exciting things ahead for the game and potentially the market within the game and the market in general over the next couple of months. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm going to go ahead and, put on my Papa Bear hat now that we're done with the video, but I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.